Call this meeting to order. If everyone could please stand and join us for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right. Roll call, please.
Trustee Mattson?
Here.
Trustee Scalise?
Here.
Trustee Galuza?
Here.
Trustee Reiser?
Here.
Trustee Christopherson?
Here.
Trustee Wilson?
Here.
Mayor Baldwin?
Here. Okay, first up is the consent agenda, which consists of 12 items. They are the minutes of the regular meeting for July 13th, 2026. Ordinance creating a Class B1 liquor license, gas and wash Route 6 and I-355, second read. Surety reduction for Spencer Meadows. Surety release for Teerling Lake, Cedar Road, Summerfield Road off-site utility improvements. Surety releases for the following: Take 5, Raising Canes, and Shannon Estates Unit 7. Acceptance of cross-access easement, Avant Gardens. Acceptance of public utility and drainage easement for the same. Approval of purchase replacement banners, Crossroads Sports Complex. Resolution updating the capital asset policy. Resolution authorizing and approving the filing of a lawsuit for collections against the new Lenox Development LLC for unpaid water bills. Does any member wish any of those items to be pulled and discussed separately? All right, if not, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by trustee Mattson, second by trustee Scalise. If there's nothing further, roll call vote, please.
Trustee Christopherson?
I abstain from A.
Trustee Galuza?
I abstain from A.
Trustee Scalise?
Aye.
Trustee Wilson?
Aye.
Trustee Reiser?
Aye. Abstain from A.
Trustee Mattson?
Aye.
Mayor Baldwin?
Aye. Okay, motion carries. First up, we have consideration of ordinance granting special for use for a final P.U.D. Plat, Teerling Lakes Phase 2. First read, Robin.
Yes. So this is the second phase of the development of the former Teerling Nursery property. Phase 1 was approved in December of 2024, and homes are under construction up there. The Phase 2 is consistent with the approved phasing plan. It includes 61 of the landings lots, which are for the 55 and older, 37 meadows, and 32 estates, which are for the larger move-up homes. Phase 2 also includes the lift station for sanitary sewer. It includes an addition to one of the stormwater detention ponds, as well as the nature park, which is up near the old homestead. Just flipping through, all of the lots do meet the zoning ordinance requirements, as well as the requirements for the P.U.D. Landscaping-wise, this does include, as I said, the nature area. So there is some additional landscaping, as well as the enlarging of one of the detention ponds and the construction of another detention pond along Chicago-Bloomington Trail. The elevations remain the same. If you recall, there were some building code waivers for building materials that were granted for this project, but there is a variety of elevations in each of the 3 product lines. And then this phase would also include a monument sign at the corner of Chicago-Bloomington Trail and Cedar Road. The Plan Commission reviewed the plat last week and recommended approval. All of staff's comments have been addressed, so if the board is so inclined to waive the requirement for first and second read, staff would not object to it being approved tonight.
All right, very good. Is the petitioner here and want to speak on this matter at all? Nothing at all? Okay. Any comments or questions from the board? No, we're excited to see that going. I'm constantly being asked about the 55 and older communities, so that's good stuff. All right, is there a motion to set aside the rules and waive second read?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by trustee Scalise, second by trustee Wilson. All those in favor signify by a voice vote of aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Is there a motion now to adopt the ordinance granting the special use for a final P.U.D.?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by trustee Reiser, second by trustee Scalise. If there's nothing further, a roll call vote, please.
Trustee Mattson?
Aye.
Trustee Reiser?
Aye.
Trustee Galuza?
Aye.
Trustee Wilson?
Aye.
Trustee Scalise?
Aye.
Trustee Christopherson?
Aye.
Mayor Baldwin?
Aye, motion carries. Thank you. Okay, B, C, D, and E are all about Cedar Pointe. Robin, if you want to go over all of them, we'll take the votes one at a time. Then we have consideration for approval of an ordinance authorizing the execution of the annexation agreement for Cedar Pointe. Consideration for approval of ordinance annexing certain property for Cedar Pointe. Approval of an ordinance rezoning property. And approval of an ordinance granting a special use for a preliminary P.U.D. plat for Cedar Pointe. Go ahead.
Yes, so this property is just under 80 acres on the west side of Cedar Road, quarter mile south of Lairway. The ordinances were before you for first read on June 8th. And since that time, we have worked with the petitioner on amendments to the annexation agreement as well as the preliminary PUD plat. The property is contiguous to the village limits, so annexation is a logical extension of the village's limits. The rezoning, the majority of the area would be zoned R2A for 121 single-family residences, and the eastern portion along Cedar Road would be zoned R5 for 10 lots for 20 duplex units and 6 triplex units. Landscaping is in accordance with the village code. This shows the overall preliminary PUD plat. Parkway trees and detention pond landscaping is all consistent with the code. These are the elevations that you saw previously for the duplex units. They do fully comply with the village's first floor masonry requirements. They did submit some updated renderings for the triplex units. The areas that have kind of bubbled up there in red is a vinyl siding projection. It's less than 2% of the total first floor elevation. So similar to alternative building materials on commercial projects, staff felt that this was an architectural element and not a true building code waiver. But I did want to bring that to your attention.
Okay.
So on the triplexes, they have buildings that would be all 3 ranch units, or the option of a middle 2-story. Again, just with the minor deviation there. They would have a monument sign at the main entrance from Cedar Road, and they would propose 2 phases, starting at the east and then working their way west. With respect to the development agreement, all of staff comments have been addressed. There was a little more discussion with engineering and public works about the phasing of the utilities. So that is referenced correctly in the agreement for which water and sanitary sewer mains need to be done with each phase. But other than that, staff is recommending approval. All of the open space contributions are consistent with the village code, and they have been working with the park district on what park improvements would be done. So they would be making some improvements to the park site with walking paths and a parking lot, but they would also be making a cash contribution that the park district would then use for the actual park equipment. So with that,
So there's no issue there? They're gonna
there's
work
no
with
issue there, no.
All right,
There's
very
no
good.
issue.
Does petitioner wish to speak on this matter tonight?
Mayor, we'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you for being here. Okay. Any comments or questions from the board?
I have one question.
Sure.
When you guys start phase 2, is the construction traffic going to route through Cedar, or you guys plan on using Cardinal?
Could you restate that?
Go ahead.
When you guys start phase 2, are you guys going to route your construction traffic back through to Cedar Road? Or are you going to route it through the existing subdivision down through Cardinal?
No, we go down Cedar Road.
Cedar Road? Okay,
We won't be going through the neighborhood at all.
okay.
All right. Good question. Anything else?
No, good.
Okay. Anything from anyone else?
No, looks great.
Yeah, it looks really
Excited
good. We're
about it.
happy to see that moving forward. All right, we'll take these one at a time then. First, I need a motion to approve the ordinance authorizing the execution of the annexation agreement.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by trustee Scalise, second by trustee Galuza. There's nothing further. Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Christopherson.
Aye.
Trustee Galuza.
Aye.
Trustee Scalise.
Aye.
Trustee Wilson.
Aye.
Trustee Riser.
Aye.
Trustee Mattson.
Aye.
Mayor Baldwin.
Aye, motion carries. Now I need a motion for approval of the ordinance annexing certain property.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by trustee Scalise, second by trustee Wilson. There's nothing further. Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Mattson.
Aye.
Trustee Riser.
Aye.
Trustee Galuza.
Aye.
Trustee Wilson.
Aye.
Trustee Scalise.
Aye.
Trustee Christopherson.
Aye.
Mayor Baldwin.
Aye, motion carries. Now I need a motion for approval of ordinance rezoning the property for Cedar Point.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by trustee Scalise, second by trustee Galuza. Comments or questions? Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Christopherson.
Aye.
Trustee Galuza.
Aye.
Trustee Scalise.
Aye.
Trustee Wilson.
Aye.
Trustee Riser.
Aye.
Trustee Mattson.
Aye.
Mayor Baldwin.
Aye, motion carries. Now I need a motion for approval of the ordinance granting a special use for the preliminary PUD plat for Cedar Point.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by trustee Scalise, second by trustee Wilson. If there's no comments or questions, Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Christopherson.
Aye.
Trustee Galuza.
Aye.
Trustee Scalise.
Aye.
Trustee Wilson.
Aye.
Trustee Riser.
Aye.
Trustee Mattson.
Aye.
Mayor Baldwin.
Aye, motion carries. Good luck, gentlemen. Thank you. Appreciate it. Next, we have consideration for approval of an ordinance authorizing the execution of a development agreement for Lincoln Estates. Also, approval of an ordinance rezoning property for Lincoln Estates, and a request for approval of preliminary plat for Lincoln Estates. Go ahead, Rob.
Yes, so this was before you back at the first meeting in July. It pertains to the southwest corner of Nelson Road and Illinois Highway. The proposal is to rezone it from R2A to R2 to accommodate the proposed lot sizes. It is consistent with the comprehensive plan as well as existing zoning in the area. The preliminary plat shows 196 lots for single-family homes, as well as a central or a park, a full park site donation, which would include park amenities. This is a standard preliminary plat. There's no zoning code deviations necessary, other than from a subdivision code standpoint, a couple of the lots in the cul-de-sac require a minor deviation from the minimum lot width requirement. They are doing a fully improved turnkey park site, and they've been working with the Park District on what those improvements would be. So it would be a full land and improvement donation. No additional cash would be required to be donated to the Park District, but all other taxing districts would receive the typical cash in lieu of land donations. If you remember when this was before you in July, there was a request for a full waiver of the transportation fee for the road improvements to Nelson Road and Illinois Highway. In keeping with past practice, that has been modified so that the only portion subject to credit would be the improvements to the east side of Nelson Road.
Right.
But they are also extending water main off-site to the north, so the agreement was revised to provide a water main or water tap-on fee credit for that portion of the water main. Other changes to the annexation, to the development agreement will just pertain to some modified language regarding where they would connect to the sanitary sewer. That was based on further discussion with Director of Operations and how this would work in cohort with the village's 54-inch sanitary sewer project. So they will be making the connection further west than initially proposed. But at this time, staff is recommending approval of the requests. The Plan Commission reviewed the preliminary plat a few months ago and recommended approval subject to resolution of staff's comments, which has been accomplished at this point. So,
All right, very good. And I think I asked you before, Mark, the cul-de-sac, no issue there.
No.
You guys.
It's good.
All right, very good. Petitioner wish to add anything? No? You're all good? All right, very good. Any comments or questions from the board? All right, then we'll take these one at a time. I need a motion for approval of the ordinance authorizing the execution of the development agreement with Lincoln Estates.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by trustee Scalise, second by trustee Wilson. If there's no comments or questions, roll call vote, please.
Trustee Mattson.
Aye.
Trustee Riser.
Aye.
Trustee Galuza.
Aye.
Trustee Wilson.
Aye.
Trustee Scalise.
Aye.
Trustee Christopherson.
Aye.
Mayor Baldwin.
Aye, motion carries. Now I need a motion for approval of the ordinance rezoning the property for Lincoln Estates.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by trustee Riser, second by trustee Mattson. Comments or questions? Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Mattson.
Aye.
Trustee Riser.
Aye.
Trustee Galuza.
Aye.
Trustee Wilson.
Aye.
Trustee Scalise.
Aye.
Trustee Christopherson.
Aye.
Mayor Baldwin.
Aye, motion carries. Now I need a motion for approval request for approval of preliminary plat for Lincoln Estates.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by trustee Riser, second by trustee Scalise. No comments or questions? Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Wilson.
Aye.
Trustee Mattson.
Aye.
Trustee Scalise.
Aye.
Trustee Galuza.
Aye.
Trustee Riser.
Aye.
Trustee Christopherson.
Aye.
Mayor Baldwin.
Aye, motion carries. Good luck. Thank you. Okay, next up, we have consideration for approval of a contract for cleaning services for the Crossroads Sports Complex. Mark, this is the one that we discussed
Yes.
previously. Anything to add?
Nope.
All right, very good. Any questions to Mark? Okay, is there a motion to approve the contract?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by trustee Mattson, second by trustee Christopherson. If there's nothing further, a roll call vote, please.
Trustee Riser.
Aye.
Trustee Mattson.
Aye.
Trustee Scalise.
Aye.
Trustee Wilson.
Aye.
Trustee Galuza.
Aye.
Trustee Christopherson.
Aye.
Mayor Baldwin.
Aye, motion carries. Now I need a motion for Mark, talk about the amendment to the agreement with SURF.
Yeah, so as you see, there's a few areas along Gauger Road, and then some stuff out east, south of Spencer Meadows and out towards Schoolhouse Road and our eastern limits that SURF would like to expand their right-of-way agreement to cover.
Mark, why don't you talk a little bit about, we've discussed it here, but you deal with these people, and the state really, once again, taking away local authority, has our hands tied on these things.
Yeah, I mean, it's extremely frustrating. We have currently 3 different companies. We have a 4th one you guys approved a right-of-way agreement for. We don't have any plans from them. But it's almost constant babysitting. You know, we have to deal with all the phone calls because they're not being responsive on their, you know, their numbers that they give the residents. So we have to constantly get a hold of these companies and ask them to get things done. We're performing final inspections. We had 3 or 4 people go out in each of the 3 areas that these companies are working to come up with a punch list to get everything resolved for our residents. Some companies are better than others, and it kind of depends on the day, quite honestly.
Well, and just going back into it again, because this is a source of contention for a lot of people in town, well, in every community where this happens. This is another one of those political pieces of legislation that can be sold as we want to make sure that everyone has access to internet. Well, everyone out here has access to internet, and of course you don't want a monopoly, but what does the state do? They knee-jerk react and say, well, anybody and their brother can start putting in internet, digging up Parkway and putting up internet. And that's why you got a bunch of these little juniors that are running around putting this stuff in with the sole intention of cutting into the big boys area. And then when the time comes and they get enough of a market share, they're just going to sell off to the big boy anyway. But this is more political garbage out of Springfield that ties our hands. People understandably don't understand. They think, why would the village approve these companies coming in here and doing this, but we have no say. And the state took away our authority, like they took away our authority on solar fields, like they're trying to take our authority away on zoning for residential housing. This is just more of a power grab from Springfield for political purposes, and that's it. Our staff does a great job of trying to follow up where these places fail. Ultimately, where they tear up the Parkway and do what they do, ultimately, one way or another, we'll make sure it all gets resolved. But I don't blame people for being upset when they see this torn up and not restored properly. Even when we're doing a project, it is common to tear up and then at once go back and restore, because you don't tear up one piece, restore, tear up one piece. You bring in your restoration crew. So we understand that, but they do it a little more haphazardly, and they do a much poorer job of explaining to the residents when they'll get back out there and when they'll take care of it. And that's when Mark and his team have got to get involved. And I cannot stress enough how frustrating it is for mayors and boards and staffs throughout Illinois when we have these unfunded mandates, when we have these restrictions put on us, when we have our rights taken away by our governor and our legislature that are supposed to be protecting us. But they're the people you don't see at the grocery store. They're the people you don't see at the block party or at your kid's baseball game. So they can pull this kind of crap down in Springfield and then go hide in the billionaire mansion or wherever they choose to go hide. So, Mark, I know it's frustrating for you. It's bad enough. Our Public Works has enough to do, let alone having to follow up and chase these crummy little companies that are tearing up our neighborhoods. So thank you for what you're doing. We'll continue to try and educate the people, but you've got people who every day are just trying to go to work and raise their families and leave the governing to us. And if the governing was left to us, we wouldn't have a problem. But unfortunately, there's a power grab down south in Springfield, and so we're not allowed to just take care of our own business. We're fighting the people who are supposed to be helping us. So, enough of that. Anything you want to add after that, Mark?
I think you covered it.
I think so too. Thank you. All right, any questions? Is there a motion to approve? And that is not, just so you know, that's not a reflection necessarily on the company we're talking about tonight. It is just in general what we've been dealing with these companies that are coming in. All right, is there a motion to approve the amendment to the agreement?
So moved. Second.
Motion by trustee Scalise, second by trustee Galuza. Comments or questions? Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Christopherson?
Aye.
Trustee Riser?
Aye.
Trustee Galuza?
Aye.
Trustee Scalise?
Aye.
Trustee Mattson?
Aye.
Trustee Wilson?
Aye.
Mayor Baldwin?
Aye, motion carries. All right, next up, we have consideration for approval of a bid award for Schoolhouse Road Water Tower. Mark?
Yes, as you know, we went out to bid quite a while ago for the Schoolhouse Road Water Tower. We rejected all bids because they were way, way above budget. We went back out on July 9th with a base bid and several alternatives. After staff and Burke Engineering reviewed everything, the best we could get it down to was $6,744,156. We will be going out to bid at a later date on the logo on the tank, the landscaping and fencing, and also on the chlorination room. Staff doesn't think we need the chlorination equipment at this time, so that may be further down the road. So the lowest bidder was Chicago Bridge and Iron. They built towers and tanks in New Lenox. They do nice work. But as part of this, it probably won't even begin until next fiscal year. They're that far out on starting these kind of things, so.
And we originally thought this was going to be what, around 4 million? 4.5?
It was started there, and then I think we upsized the tank, and we were looking at 5.5, 6.
Yeah, here's the reality. These are people that are busy, and so they're not necessarily hungry to bid, but we've got to get this done. And we even had to extend, as Mark said, the time period for when it can get done, just to get anyone to bid the project. And it's more expensive than it probably should be, but, you know, it's their market, not ours right now. And, you know, I could talk about this under my comments, so I'll say, but this is why this local government distributive fund, why these things matter. Why these things matter when we don't get the money from Springfield that we're supposed to get. Not only are they hurting us and making us spend money on things that were their idea and not ours, we're supposed to be getting 10%. We're getting 6.49% of the income tax, which is costing us millions of dollars. I mean, since the inception, I think we've lost $25 million. Just imagine that. And that's just giving us what we're supposed to get. That's, 22% of what we should have got would have paid cash for this. It's ridiculous. So when people talk about property taxes, of which we get next to nothing, we're 4% or something, right, Kim, for our property tax. We're not the ones that are getting the property tax. But all the good things we're doing, bringing in commercial development and bringing in new residential to support that and building a sports complex and all the good things we're doing to take that money to try and provide for services for our people. Some of that money's going to these unfunded mandates, and we're missing out on millions of other dollars annually that we should have to go for these services. Boy, I tell you what, I love Illinois. It has every potential with our water, with our infrastructure, with everything else we have. And we are in the toilet in the nation because of the way our state legislature runs this place and squanders billions and doesn't take care of the people. And so it's left on our local shoulders to do it all. So now we're paying $6 million for some, and that's just a start, because like you said, there's other things that are come after this. We're going to be spending $1 million plus more that we don't have because, or that we have, but could go for better use because of where we happen to live. All right, any questions for Mark on that? Is there a motion to approve the bid award?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by trustee Mattson, second by trustee Scalise. If there's nothing further, a roll call vote, please.
Trustee Riser?
Aye.
Trustee Mattson?
Aye.
Trustee Scalise?
Aye.
Trustee Wilson?
Aye.
Trustee Galuza?
Aye.
Trustee Christopherson?
Aye.
Mayor Balderman?
Aye, motion carries. All right, under reports and communications, I've said enough about all that. We did have a couple of nice concerts out here this weekend. We have another one coming up with Andy Grammer this Saturday. As always, thank you to all of our staff, all of our volunteers, everybody that pitches in. We've got community organizations that we support that come out and help with the tickets and the beer sale. I mean, they just, it's a great town. It's nice to see people. The artists did a really nice job this weekend. Andy Grammer was one of those rare 2 rainouts that we've had in 17 plus years, so it's nice to see him back. I know people are excited about it, but again, a big thank you to all of our staff, all of our volunteers, the other communities that send ESDA support over here to help. It's just a great team effort, and it's a nice thing we can do for our town, so it was really good. That's all I have. If there's nothing from me, village attorney?
No.
Thank you, village administrator.
I want to put a positive spin. I know we're dealing with all the things that you said, but even with all the hurdles that the village has, you had an extension of a subdivision and you had 2 new subdivisions come in tonight, so something's going right here.
Kurt, that's a great point. I was talking to Robin. The people who are either platted or are bringing stuff here, I mean, if everything goes, we're talking up 6, I mean, there's potential of a couple thousand homes that will be on the books. We're building like nobody else, and that is because people want to live here. And it's not just us, it's our partners as well. It's tremendous school districts and park districts and library and fire, everybody. But our staff really does a great job working with these people, working through it to make sure we're getting quality, but that it's a good environment conducive to growth. And so that's a great point. We are, despite the obstacles, you are correct. We're really booming. Good things are happening. So thank you for that. Okay, payroll and disbursements, trustee Mattson.
Sir, I make the motion to approve our bi-monthly disbursements in the amount of $6,341,395.19 and a manual disbursement in the amount of $58,813.30. In addition to these disbursements, approval is needed for a payroll in the amount of $646,343.75 paid on August 7th, 2026, and that would be in the form of a motion.
And I will second that.
Okay, motion's been properly moved and seconded. Any comments or questions? All right, roll call vote, please.
Trustee Christopherson?
Aye.
Trustee Galuza?
Aye.
Trustee Scalise?
Aye.
Trustee Wilson?
Aye.
Trustee Riser?
Aye.
Trustee Mattson?
Aye.
Mayor Balderman?
That motion carries. Anything else, Keith?
No, sir.
All right, thank you. Questions, comments from the floor? Terry Nolan?
My name's Terry Nolan. I'm a longtime resident of New Lenox. And recently, I get copies of the Chicago Tribune, and they came up with, they praised the city of Aurora for coming up with some guidelines and things that the Aurora Council could do to sort of limit and get ahead of data centers. I'm opposed to data centers in our area because of the water, the electricity, and everything else. And I just wanted to present their recommendations for the board's consideration and yours, maybe as a starting point. But you mentioned, the state's taken away a lot of your prerogatives, and I'm one of those people upset about 6,000 acres of prime farmland being used for solar farms, which you have no control over, and apparently the county has no control over either.
right.
So I'm hoping this is a first step and maybe a step up, a step in the right direction. And I gave a copy to the clerk, and I'll make this available to you.
Thank you. I will tell you, and I'm glad you brought that up. First of all, there's some site, I've spoken to Robin about it, that falsely states that there's a data center that's planned for New Lenox. There is not. As a matter of fact, the land where they talked about planning it, I think it was by St. Jude Church or something. It doesn't even make any sense. That's not true. And we are not entertaining any data centers whatsoever, and I've spoken to staff about that. There's no appetite for that here. We are having so much successful growth, and we do need those utilities for what we're doing. As far as water, sewer, everything else goes. So we are on the same page.
Okay.
But I appreciate you taking the time to be here today.
Oh, that's right.
It is tricky. I mean, there's a need for data centers, and there's probably a lot of places in the country where data centers make sense. But in our community like this, when we look at our planning and what we have.
Utah would be a good place.
Yeah, there you go. There's a lot of places like that where it might work perfectly.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Appreciate
much. I'll
you
leave
being
this
here.
for you here.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. All right, thank you.
Favorite guys here. No.
That's all right. You're always welcome. You know that.
Well, I got to touch on something you just mentioned real quick. Since you mentioned there was a false rumor of the data center in New Lenox and the location.
Yeah.
The location mentioned was actually the same location for the solar farm that we denied off of Gauger. So that's a little bit funny.
Well,
It's not true, obviously. It's obviously not true. But at least the solar panels wouldn't be making any noise. No, what I came up here today, I have two pictures to show off. So I went walking with my dad over the weekend. Nice father-son activity. We're getting some cardio. He lives right by Martino. He's in one of the townhouses right there. And we're walking down the trail that's on the ComEd corridor. So that stretches, I have the pictures. I have a really small picture of the map that you won't see. But obviously, you know where it is. It goes from US 30 down to Illinois Highway, down that entire ComEd corridor. So the picture I have to show off is from just south of the old Plank Road Trail, facing south. So we're facing towards Illinois Highway. This is brush covering the trail. So this trail, it's not a county trail, it's our trail. This is the Village of New Lenox's trail. And that growth, you can see how large it is. Obviously, that didn't appear in a year. My dad says that's been there for a significant amount of time. I'm not going to ask him or trust him for how long it's been, but it's been there for a while. And, if that was a road, I know it would never be in that sort of shape. Now, you could say there's a different amount of traffic going down a bike trail than there is a road. But if you have two bikes going head to head, you can't see a bike on the other side of this until it's too late, until he's already going down that tiny little strip of asphalt and he bumps into you walking right there. Now, on top of that, on this trail, it's never edged. This trail has to be probably 8 feet wide. This section right here, you can see my dad in the background. That section has to be at least 8, 10, maybe 14 inches. And both sides of the trail are like that, where grass is growing over the trail. So we are narrowing the amount of space that we actually have. In fact, me and my dad were walking when we had a kid on an e-bike pass us. He had to go into the grass to pass us because, frankly, it wouldn't be safe for him to pass directly on the path.
No, he shouldn't.
My dad could have stepped to the side.
You shouldn't be
I agree.
on an e-bike because it's not legal.
It says no motorized vehicles. I think that's pretty clear. A motor is a motor is a motor is a motor. Anyways, my point being, I would like to see our trails maintained. Also, I understand this might be private property. There's a very, very small chance. Someone's backyard is right there. They don't have any trees in the backyard. It's completely clear in the backyard, so I understand they want the privacy. I'm not saying we should go and rip up the trees, but maybe we should say within a foot of the edge of the trail, we shouldn't have foliage over a certain height. So if there's anything directly sprouting next to the trail, that gets pulled up. That gets pulled up. But anything over a foot away, it stays. Anything in like a box from the edge of the trail to the edge of the trail, 6 feet up, there should be nothing in there. Same thing. That's really my only point. A lot of it, That's it. I feel like it hurts the way our village looks. These paths are amenities. Like we had, it was not Harts, Lennar. They were just here for Cedar Pointe, the subdivision off of Illinois Highway and Nelson right there on that southwest corner. One of the things they were talking about, before they sell the first lot, they want to have that bike path rebuilt along Illinois Highway and along Nelson because they are going to sell it as an amenity to people in those homes. So, point being, let's take care of what we got. I like it. Let's take care of it. I use it. Today I rode my bike to work. You might not see people ever ride in the bike lane on Illinois Highway, but you're looking at one right now. I rode there today and on the way back from work. So.
Well, I'll tell you what, as I said last time, I'm glad you're here. I like that you come to speak, and I feel pretty good that the biggest issue we're dealing with today is a little overgrown grass in a tree. Mark?
To be fair,
We're on it.
To be fair, if I had permission, I wouldn't wait for the man to do it for me. I would put a couple garden shears in the basket of my bike.
Why the man? How do you know it's not going to be a woman?
Well, you're right. You're right. Big brother, that's not right to say either.
That's right.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's usually big sister that's keeping an eye on
Yeah.
everybody.
Either way, yes, I shouldn't have to wait for the government to do it for me. No, I did have a little comment about some parkway trees. I really like that we pay for parkway trees. I think that's a good thing. Like I think that going half on parkway tree replacements. Yeah. I like that we do that. Along Joliet Highway, there's a couple parkway trees that have like a bunch of sproutlets coming out of the trunk of the trees. I don't know if that's stress from what I read online. It might be they're stressed out. But also, I think they just might need to be pruned. They kind of look shitty. I shouldn't say that.
Well, here's what I'll tell you. A lot of those portions along Joliet Highway are not in the village. Some are unincorporated, and some are. We do take care of the trees.
It's Crystal Cove, and I think it's covered by their HOA. I don't think we have a special service agreement with them like we do the other subdivisions.
All right.
So that's on them.
Well,
that's all I have.
Well, appreciate you being here, and I'm glad you got out there walking with your dad.
Yeah.
Take advantage of that while you can. All right. And no one else? Trustee Reiser? Any comments tonight?
I didn't have any, but then Kurt, your little positive spin on things, I wanted to follow up on that. My extended family, a lot of them live out in Northwest Indiana, and as we all know, and you've probably seen it or at least heard about it, Northwest Indiana is blowing up because a lot of Illinois people are moving over there. But when they come out here, their trip from Northwest Indiana to New Lenox, they obviously don't see much going on until they get here. And just the other day, they commented when they came out to see us here, just how they feel at home when they get to New Lenox because they see what's going on here in the development. And like you said, Kurt, like what we're talking about tonight, and could be 1,000 houses that we're talking about over the next few
Yeah, a couple
years here.
thousand, yeah.
So, again, just following up on the positive spin.
Yeah,
that,
it definitely is. It's just a shame that we have to fight our own people to, just imagine if we didn't, the more good we could do.
Yep, absolutely. And then the second thing, it's a shame that we've got to pay the extra for this water tower, but I know my neighbors on the southeast side are going to be happy about that. It'll be rinse the shampoo out of their hair a little bit easier now. And with the added development out there, it's good news.
Very good. All right, thank you. Trustee Mattson?
Nothing tonight, sir.
Thank you. Trustee Christopherson?
Nothing to add.
All right, thank you. Trustee Galuzzi?
This is my yearly public service announcement. School is going to be starting back up in about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So let's be mindful of our school speed zones, stay off the phones, pay attention. There's going to be kids out everywhere, so be careful.
Very good. Thank you. Trustee Wilson?
Nothing tonight.
Trustee Scalise?
Nothing from me.
All right, just one last thing. There will be a community meeting this Wednesday, August 12th at 7 p.m. at the American Legion Post. They were pretty fortunate to get a restored UH-1 Huey helicopter. It's going to be a permanent POW MIA memorial. We're going to be helping them on that. So they're going to have a full Huey out there. And so their meeting is at the Legion Wednesday at 7 p.m. To share the vision for the memorial and provide a project update, any questions that the community has. The goal is to make the residents aware of what's happening at the Legion and within our community as they work to bring the Flight Home POW MIA Memorial to New Lenox. So we have such a strong veterans group here, and of course we're incredibly supportive of those who have served and serve. And if you didn't make it to the concert this weekend on Saturday, Big and Rich was here, And not only, of course, are they incredibly supportive of our veterans, they had some of our veterans and active service members, including members of our community, up on stage with them to have a shot, and they were up there for quite a while, and we just live in a great town. You know, we talk about the home of proud Americans and what that means. It means an awful lot. But our people do take pride. And I mean it sincerely. Even you coming here talking about what you talk about, it's because you have pride in your community, and that's important. That's what we want to see. So it was great. It was a great weekend. So, all right, if there's nothing further, we have no need for executive session tonight or a work session next week. So is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by trustee Scalise, second by trustee Christopherson. All those in favor signify by a voice vote of aye.
Aye.
Opposed, meeting adjourned.